Take a breather there. Hold up. Hold up. Take a breather.
SmackDown this week will go down as one of the most jaw-dropping episodes in recent WWE history. A night when chaos reigned supreme, alliances were tested, and the aura of the bloodline grew darker and more menacing than ever before. Fans who packed the arena and millions watching at home were left stunned as Roman Reigns, the self-proclaimed tribal chief, made an earth-shattering return alongside his monstrous enforcer, Jacob Fatu, to send a brutal, unmissable message to the entire locker room. And their unfortunate targets were none other than the powerhouse duo of Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. The calm before the storm. The night began with an air of unease. Reports had circulated all week that Roman Reigns was backstage, but WWE officials kept tight-lipped about whether he'd appear on television. The last time the tribal chief was seen on SmackDown, he left the WWE Universe reeling after a heated confrontation with Solo Sikoa that hinted at fractures within the bloodline. Tonight, however, any doubts about the faction's unity vanished in an instant, replaced by pure, ruthless domination. Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, two of WWE's fastest-rising monsters, were scheduled to face each other in what was billed as a Battle of the Beasts. Both men had been carving their own paths in recent months. Breakker, with his freakish athleticism and explosive power, had been tearing through the roster with his devastating spear and gorilla press slam. Reed, on the other hand, had been equally unstoppable, using his size, agility, and raw force to crush opponents under his earth-shaking tsunami splash. The tension between them was real, the crowd buzzing with anticipation. But as the match got underway, no one could have predicted the mayhem that was about to unfold. The arrival of the tribal chief. Midway through the match, just as Breakker and Reed were exchanging thunderous blows, the lights in the arena dimmed. The giant LED screen flickered with crimson red, and that familiar, spine-chilling phrase filled the air. "Acknowledge me." The audience erupted into a deafening roar as Roman Reigns' entrance theme hit. Dressed in his signature black and gold gear, with the undisputed Universal Championship gleaming on his shoulder, Reigns stepped out onto the stage, his cold gaze locked on the ring. The energy shifted immediately. What had been a competitive bout now felt like a battlefield awaiting judgment. But Reigns wasn't alone. From the shadows behind him emerged a figure that made even the toughest superstars look uneasy. Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, making his official SmackDown debut alongside his cousin. His presence was terrifying. His eyes burned with intensity, his tattooed chest glistened under the arena lights, and the fans knew instantly. This was not a man you wanted to cross. Chaos unleashed. As the duo made their way to ringside, Breakker and Reed momentarily put aside their differences, realizing that something much bigger and much more dangerous was unfolding before them. Reigns slowly circled the ring, microphone in hand, as the crowd chanted, "Tribal Chief! Tribal Chief!" "SmackDown," Reigns said in his trademark low, deliberate tone. "You've all forgotten who runs this place. You've all forgotten what dominance looks like. But tonight, I remind every single one of you, this is my island." Before Breakker or Reed could respond, Jacob Fatu slid into the ring like a predator ready to strike. The ref tried to intervene, but Fatu shoved him aside and charged straight at Reed, flooring him with a savage superkick followed by a monstrous Samoan drop. The thud echoed throughout the arena. The crowd gasped, and then cheered wildly as chaos erupted. Breakker lunged at Fatu, tackling him into the corner, but Roman entered the ring, calm as ever, and cut Breakker off with a Superman punch that nearly turned him inside out. The tribal chief roared, the veins in his arms bulging, as he stalked his prey. Breakker tried to rise, only to be met with a spear that sent him crashing into the turnbuckles with devastating force. Jacob Fatu wasn't done either. He climbed to the top rope, all 280 pounds of fury, and launched into a breathtaking Samoan splash that crushed Bronson Reed beneath him. The crowd erupted into a mix of shock and awe. The message was clear. The bloodline was back, stronger and more merciless than ever. The statement heard around the world. Roman stood over Breakker's fallen body, holding the microphone again, breathing heavily. "You thought you were the next generation," he sneered, looking down at Breakker. "You thought you could build something here without acknowledging me." But this is still my empire. Jacob Fatu, standing behind him, pounded his chest, shouting in Samoan, his eyes wild with fury. Reigns placed a hand on Fatu's shoulder, a symbolic gesture, passing the torch of destruction within the family. It was a chilling sight. The tribal chief and the Samoan werewolf united, drenched in the wreckage of two of WWE's most promising stars. Officials and referees rushed to the ring, trying to restore order, but Reigns and Fatu simply stared them down, forcing them to retreat. The audience didn't know how to react, half booing, half chanting in awe. Backstage repercussions. Later in the night, cameras caught the aftermath backstage. Breaker, clutching his ribs, was being checked by medical staff, while Bronson Reed was seen angrily storming out of the trainer's room, vowing revenge. They want to play games? Fine, Reed snarled. Let's see if the bloodline can handle two beasts coming for them. Meanwhile, Reigns and Fatu were shown walking through the corridors, heads held high, as Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman joined them. Heyman, ever the manipulator, smiled proudly and whispered, "The island of relevancy just grew stronger." Reigns didn't respond. He didn't need to. His eyes said it all. The bloodline was no longer fractured. It was reborn. What comes next? The fallout from this brutal assault will undoubtedly ripple through the WWE Universe in the coming weeks. Breaker and Reed are not known to back down from a fight, and their alliance, even if temporary, could pose a serious threat to the bloodline's dominance. But with Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu now united, the power dynamic in WWE has shifted dramatically. Jacob Fatu's arrival signals a new era, an era where blood, loyalty, and fear rule above all else. And if tonight's SmackDown was any indication, the Tribal Chief's empire isn't crumbling anytime soon. It's evolving into something far more dangerous.